today's top boxing news.
Yeah, I mean, we have shared 20 rounds together, so we do know each other very, very well, but I think we're both going to be making a small few adjustments and tweaks, and I hope to make the fight a bit easier for myself this time round. I know that people haven't seen the best of me yet, and I'm actually excited to showcase that on Friday. I just have to go in there and be myself and show my best, and I have to just fight with a bit more discipline, maybe.
So Katie says that she wants to make things a little easier on herself in the trilogy, show a bit more discipline. To what could she be referring to? Exchanges and not getting into as many of them. The first fight and the second fight are almost identical to each other, and Katie Taylor was hurt in the both of them. I believe she was hurt in the middle of the first fight and at the very beginning of the second. To make things easier on herself, she would probably try not to get in as many tear-ups, as many exchanges, and Katie does like to trade. If she means to do something differently for the third fight, it's probably not trading as much, moving around more, boxing more. Not dissimilar from what she did in the second Delphine Persoon fight, that she won more decisively than the first. It's likely what she means.
I said in the press conference she's not in a position to dictate the terms of the fight. The fight's already at 136 pounds. You want to fight at 136 pounds, at 140 pounds.
I think, look, it's good to see a little bit of emotion from the two of them because they are very respectful of each other. They are friendly. I believe deep down they can't stand each other.
Really?
But they're two respectful
What makes you say that?
She wanted to be announced second in the ring. She wanted all these other, giving away so many of my champion privileges. And so she's not going to get everything her own way, basically. And I think that's just business done properly.
Because all they hear is the other person's name.
Right.
Their entire existence is based on this other human being. And so as a successful individual athlete, you don't want it to always be that, hey, this is the yin and the yang, right? No, this is Amanda Serrano. This is Katie Taylor, not Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor.
Right. Do you think there'll be tension this week between them?
I think at some point there'll be a lot of tension, yes.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting.
Look, when you watch that countdown and the question is asked who won the first fight,
Great
they
moment.
both say, I did.
Yes.
Or the two fights, whatever.
They have a love-hate relationship, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, having shared the ring with each other 2 times, and the build-up, the years it took to finally get them there in the ring with each other for the first time. How many times Katie was asked about Amanda? How many times Amanda was asked about Katie? Hate. Hate by itself is too strong a word. Love-hate relationship, I think, describes it best. Oh yes, I believe that a part of Katie Taylor loves Amanda, and a part of Amanda loves Katie. Why would Katie love Amanda? Because of how hard Amanda's pushed her. The only fighter with a recorded victory over Katie may be Chantel Cameron, but Chantel didn't hurt Katie Taylor like Amanda hurt Katie Taylor. And because of that, you think Katie loves her. I think Katie Taylor loves a challenge, and boxing Amanda Serrano has been challenging. I think that some of Katie Taylor's fondest memories from her professional boxing career, when she looks back, will involve Amanda Serrano, and the same is true in reverse. Love-hate relationship. Coming out in front of all those people at Madison Square Garden who were there for no other reason than to see Katie and Amanda throw hands with each other. That's a fond memory that both Katie and Amanda have. That's the love, now for the hate. What Katie might not like about Amanda is the constant complaining about what happened in the first fight and what happened in the second. Now for the hate. Katie Taylor's never had home field advantage in either of the fights that they've had. Not a single one of those fights took place in Ireland. They took place in Amanda Serrano's neck of the woods. The last one wasn't even promoted by Matchroom. Now for the hate. So that when she hears Amanda Serrano complaining about the decision and complaining about this and complaining about that, Katie's telling herself, I wasn't even a house fighter. Didn't even have home field advantage. And I still won! Stop complaining. What Katie Taylor may not like about Amanda Serrano, and what Amanda may not like about Katie, in Amanda's eyes, the both of those fights were very close, very tight. Katie got consideration both times. I do not expect Amanda to be happy about that. What Amanda may not like about Katie. Amanda Serrano really is a pioneer in the truest sense of the word. And she didn't have it easy. She didn't have the perks. She didn't have the luxury of being with a major promotional outfit, boxing on a major platform like Katie Taylor did, from out of the amateurs into the pros. No, Amanda got it the hard way.
What Amanda may not like about Katie.
Katie Taylor goes pro, and she's all you can hear about, but by the time Katie Taylor went pro in 2016, Amanda Serrano was already one of the most accomplished fighters in the sport that the sport had ever seen, and she wasn't getting her just due.
She wasn't getting praised like it, and she definitely wasn't getting paid like it.
So there is going to be a resentment there. I think they both love and hate each other.
We'll see that hate unfold once again tomorrow night in tri-state area when they meet for the third time.
Having already seen them box 2 times already, I am still excited to see them do it again.
Excited about the card, too. It's a hell of a card.
Hell of a night. I'm looking forward to it. Men's super flyweight news. Jesse Bam Rodriguez admits Fernando Martinez's announcement came as a surprise.
Surprise. Was he expecting not to get him? Was he expecting not to fight him?
The announcement that Jesse Rodriguez would take on Fernando Martinez came from way out of left field, so much so that even Bam did not expect it to appear on his social media feed. He is, after all, gearing up for a vastly different unification, this one against WBO Super Flyweight champion Fumilela Cafu on July 19th. The pair will collide at the Ford Center in Frisco, Texas, with the WBC champion Rodriguez looking to enhance his pound-for-pound status in front of his home fans. At the same time, though, there is now a carrot emerging in the form of WBA champion Martinez, 18-0, with 9 KOs, that has been dangled ahead of his dust-up next week. The dust-up next week happens the same night as the Pacquiao versus Barrios box office fight on Amazon Prime, brought to you by the CBP.
It's the PBC.
It's going to be a big weekend. In the afternoon, in the United States, you're going to be seeing Usyk versus Dubois 2, the rematch!
Second fight, and at night, you're going to be seeing Pacquiao versus Barrios. You're going to be seeing Bam versus Cafu. Bam!
An official announcement for the Martinez fight, however, came as boxing power broker Turkey Alalshikh took to his social media to confirm another blockbuster card for November 22nd. A mouth-watering clash between Rodriguez and Martinez has, of course, been previously mooted, but the timing of its arrival is what has ultimately left many scratching their heads.
Bam!
With Bam already heading into a fight of such importance, the result, which is no foregone conclusion either, he has hardly been afforded much of an opportunity to even consider his assignment in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. As a result, the 25-year-old has simply ignored the outside noise, or at least a large chunk of it, and instead remained focused on the task at hand. Honestly, I haven't paid any attention to it, Rodriguez told Boxing News. I know that Cafu is a dangerous opponent, and I know if I don't get past him, then that fight against Martinez won't even happen. I am 100% focused on Cafu right now. So was it detrimental to Bam's effort and Bam's mindset that Turkey quite prematurely announced another fight?
Well, it's only as detrimental as Bam allows it to be. It's only as big a distraction as Bam allows it to be.
Turkey Alalshikh is tantamount to a kid in a candy store with the means and the money to make almost any fight that he wants. He's a boxing fan at heart, and you can see that in his excitement.
I like that about him.
Though, as you can imagine, not every boxing fan has the resources, the means, and the money of a Turkey Alalshikh, and that creates the environment to where even the goddamn fighter might be blindsided.
Let me till I come, please, please.
Be that as it may, Rodriguez equally acknowledges that while he was not anticipating Alalshikh's social media post, much like the rest of us, to arrive so soon, the stakes for July 19th have all of a sudden become terrifically high. I didn't know it was going to be announced, he admitted, but I knew that it was in the works. I just wasn't sure on the date or where it would take place, but I knew that it was being talked about. The Martinez fight does add motivation, like I said. If I don't get past Cafu, then I won't get that huge fight. I just need to go out there and make sure that I get my hand raised on July 19th.
Few passing thoughts.
Don't get too mad at Turkey for announcing the Puma Martinez fight prematurely, because remember, if not for Turkey, there may not have been anything to announce. Anything at all. It would seem like Bam and Puma have been circling each other for a very long time, but this is not a fight that boxing by itself, boxing on its own, was about to make. The only reason it's made is because of Turkey.
You gotta take the good with the bad. Not even that announcing the fight is bad.
Because I don't even think it is. It adds that much more to the Cafu fight. It makes the Cafu fight even more high stakes. Now, most Americans are largely ignorant to Fumilela Cafu, but they might be a little bit more familiar with Puma Martinez, who used to box on the PBC side of things and beat long-reigning champion Jerwin Ancajas there.
On Showtime, on PBC.
Would seem he had to get his passport out for his last two fights, both of which happened in Japan, the land of the rising sun, against then-champion Kazuto Ioka. The fight between Bam and Puma is the very best fight to make in this division, and you can imagine Turkey's excitement when he finally put it together. He couldn't wait to tell people.
That's what that was.
And I can't wait to see it, though. First, Bam's got to beat Cafu.
I think that most people have Bam beating Cafu. I think that the bookies have him winning that fight too.
I imagine right now he's the betting favorite going into that fight, but knowing that all he's got to do is beat Cafu, and there's an even bigger fight, an even better one lined up, adds that much more excitement to the equation that Bam will have not one, but two unification matches before this year is out, and all he has to do is hold up his end of the bargain.
You gotta thank Turkey for getting these fights done in a timely fashion, because here's something that's not being said. Bam wasn't gonna be able to keep making super flyweight forever.
I already heard his trainer, Robert Garcia, play with the idea of moving up to 118. So if we get two unification matches in the same calendar year before he goes up, count your lucky stars. Consider yourself lucky, because things in boxing don't normally happen that fast.
Nothing. I'm focused 100% for Saturday night always, I mean, maybe have a problem, maybe no, I don't know. Like, Fred say the visa, he can't do it coming here. Now says the drug, so I don't know. I don't know what happened, right? I don't know what happened. I mean, I will ready. I will ready for Saturday night. I'm focused for Saturday night. In my mind, nothing has changed. I feel bad for him because it's fighting. I'm fighting too, understand. But I don't know why you need eat or drink something. So I don't know. But anyways, I mean. I'm feel bad for him only for career to him.
In spite of what recently came out about Imam Katayv, David Morrell doesn't seem none too bothered by it, that Imam Katayv may have at some point been on the sauce, on the juice.
Might be on it now.
David Morrell doesn't seem to care. For those not aware, the show will go on. Some question, given what came out yesterday about Imam Katayv, would he still be allowed to fight by the New York State Athletic Commission? At this moment in time, there don't appear to be any interruptions to the fight on Saturday. Both boys had a face-off with each other.
The fight is on.
David was really blasé about Imam's doping case and the potentiality that he could still be doping right now. Maybe the reason for it is because David could be doping. I still get pushback in some circles whenever I suggest that most of the top-level boxers are doping, that virtually everyone is on something, David Morell included.
Need I remind you that in a build-up of the David Benavidez fight, David Benavidez's team accused David Morell of sandbagging it when it came to the anti-doping test.
The VADA test.
Know what the implication is. We know what they were trying to say, that David Morell might be on the sauce. And the kicker is that so might be David Benavidez, because he's working with Angel Heredia.
Guy with the same sketchy past as former Balco impresario Victor Conti.
Is that a coincidence?
I think everybody's doping. Moreover, I think David Morell knows everybody's doping, so that when they ask him about Imam Katayev's doping case, he doesn't really care.
He's not going to say that. He can't let the proverbial cat out of the proverbial bag.
Can't let it all hang out, but you could tell in his demeanor that he's not too bothered by Imam Katayev's doping case or the prospect of him doping for this fight, because he might be doping for this fight.
It's a very important fight for David Morell.
So maybe after a certain point and after a certain level, all the fights are equally important in their own way after a point in time. But for David Morell, I would say this is a very important fight because he's coming right off that decision loss to David Benavidez. David Morell is a Cuban fighter of Cuban descent, and Cuban fighters in the United States don't have the best track record for going on to become big box office stars, pay-per-view stars. It usually doesn't happen that way. It didn't happen that way for Rigo. Didn't happen that way for Lara.
Luis Ortiz.
Cuban fighters don't have the best track record in terms of becoming big box office stars, and it could happen that way for David Morell if he's not careful. So the opportunity that this weekend's fight presents for David is an opportunity to not just get back in the winner's bracket, but get back in the winner's bracket on a big stage, in a big way, so that Turkey can keep using you. This will be David Morell's second appearance on one of Turkey Alalshikh's shows. The first was on the undercard of Crawford versus Madrimov,
When he fought Hot Rod.
now, it would seem that Turkey has once again found use for him against Imam Katayv, who, if David can beat him, and beat him in good fashion, maybe even knock him out, Turkey might find use for David again.
PBC don't got that many fight dates.
They just outsourced one of their flagship fighters, David Benavidez, to one of Turkey's shows. What does that tell you? That tells me they don't got the money to burn on David Benavidez anymore, much less David Morell.
So if you're David Morell, you're that guy. PBC doesn't have that many fight dates. You yourself are a fighter of Cuban descent. You don't have a built-in fan base in America like the Mexicans or the Puerto Ricans.
This is a golden opportunity. An opportunity to stay active, stay busy, make money, make an impression on Turkey, because if you do, he'll keep using you, and he will pay you more than what you were making at the PBC.
More!
I believe that David is going to win the fight. Conservatively, I think he wins a points decision. I don't know that he knocks Imam Katayv out. It's a fantastic style matchup. The boxer-puncher versus the pressure fighter.
Tiger!
But I think David can win a points decision, and we'll see if he does. If he does, Turkey may yet find use for him again, and that's his best bet to stay active.
Tiger uppercut!
You make an impression on Turkey, maybe he makes you one of his Ring Magazine ambassadors. Maybe he has you as a regular on his shows. You need that.
Tiger!
Maybe you get the chance to become one of the somebodies at 175 pounds. You play your cards right. Maybe you get to fight for a title.
Tiger!
This is a more important fight for David Morell, I think, than people realize.